Yeah, boy, one of the most fire fight cards is on the way, and you know I gotta give my predictions for this one, and I know people are finally listening in to me, so let me see if I can break this down for y'all. Carlos Leal is new, and we do not know much about him, but we do know about Renat, and that's who I say you should go for, but I don't know that much about Carlos, unfortunately, so I wouldn't be betting on this fight if I were you, but if you are to pick anybody, it would be Renat. I'm gonna just say Ishmael because I will slaughter that last name versus Bruno Silva, and unfortunately, this is not the Bruno Silva that fought Alex Pereira, because I feel like if that was the Bruno Silva fighting all of these guys, he would have won every single fight. Alex Pereira really took this man's basically everything away. The Bruno Silva that fought Alex Pereira would have been an absolute monster had he not fought Alex Pereira. So unfortunately, I will go with Ishmael here, even though I don't know that much about him either. Wait a second, that's a lie. Isn't this the guy that fought Sean Brady? I think it is. I think this is him. Oh yeah, he's gonna win this, even though he got absolutely destroyed by Brady. I do think Ishmael will win this, even though he is kind of mid himself. Yeah, I have Ishmael. I probably have him by decision. Man, the Basharat frauds are still taking on newcomers after being 3 fights deep into the UFC. I got Basharat winning this one, but man, he needs to start facing higher competition or something. Why are they repeatedly giving this guy newcomers? He's at a point in his career now where he needs to be fighting the like old crafty vets, you know, so he can start preparing for those absolute monsters in the rankings. Maybe I'm being too harsh though. Maybe it's okay to take your time and, you know, build yourself up before you start fighting those crafty vets and those monsters, especially at bantamweight of all places. I do got Basharat winning. I do think he'll probably win by decision because I do think Victor Hugo can get out of all of the submission attempts that Basharat is bound to put on him. So, yeah, I got Basharat by decision. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Chris Barnett, and I really want Chris Barnett to win, and I see why people are going for Kennedy. You know, he has the lighter man skill. He's going up to a different weight class. His chin might be rejuvenated and all of this stuff. Plus, the reach and the height advantage is absolutely insane in this fight, and I don't think even those spinning kicks that Chris Barnett likes to do will connect before Kennedy can see it coming and move out the way completely. Yeah, I feel like this fight is tailor-made for Kennedy to win, and I think I'm going to go with Kennedy Nzechukwu, even though I really want Chris Barnett to win. I mean, who doesn't want this guy to win? Definitely going to decision, though. Next up is Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira, and I feel like this fight is not making it out the first round. I mean, why would it? Both of these guys will gas out eventually. Both of these guys have crazy power. They're both the most dangerous in the first round. I feel like this fight isn't making it out that first round. The question is, who's more dangerous? Who's more accurate, precise, who's more aggressive, you know, all of that stuff. And I think I'm going to go with Bruno Ferreira, but I'm not confident in that pick at all because, I mean, both of these guys are just first round behemoths, and it can go either way. It's basically who lands first, and I just think Bruno would be that guy to land first. So I got Bruno Ferreira by first round KO. Y'all have messed up and awoken the caveman from his slumber again, and now he has to claim another victim, and it will be Mateusz Rambeski this time. I feel like this fight will go 2 rounds and it will be a finish by Orobot. So second round submission is my prediction. I really don't want to make a prediction for this fight before I see Jeff Neal step on his first opponent, the scale. And even when I see it, I don't know which one's going to show up. So this is going to be a hard prediction either way because Jeff Neal can be this absolute terrorizer of a person, or he could just be Michael Johnson. Who knows? I do feel like, however, he is the safer pick, but man, I don't know. And these are 2 borderline very new people in the UFC, so I'm not even going to really predict this one. Shara Midgomedov, yeah, I called him mid, versus Armen Petrosian, and unfortunately, Armen will not be the person to beat Shara and show that he's mid. So, I'm definitely going to be going with Shara Midgomedov, and I think he's going to be winning by decision, but it's going to be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts. Now, after seeing what Lerone Murphy did to Edson Barboza after I said Barboza was going to win, I do think I'm going to go with him, but Dan Ige is just one of these guys that you never really know because he always brings the fight. The man has hands. He's very tough to take down, and if you do get him down, he's pretty tough to keep down. So I do think this is going to be a more striking battle than anything, and you just don't really want to test Dan Ige in that kind of battle, and I do think Lerone Murphy knows this. so he is going to mix it up, and that's why I'm going for him. I think this will be another fight by decision, unfortunately, but I do think it will be a very entertaining back and forth kind of fight. So Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic, and I do think Magomed will win this one. People are always forgetting that Magomed also has hands. Most of his fights have been by finish, besides the Blachowicz fight, which it took him 3 rounds to realize that he's not really a primary striker, he's a grappler. And we know that leg kicks are going to blight Magomed's performance. Even with that, though, I do have Magomed Ankalaev, and I do think he's probably going to finish Rakic, actually, in round 4, I'd say. And I think he's going to finish Rakic simply because he did say Dana White said if this is a good fight, that he gets the title fight. So, obviously, he's going to go out there and try his absolute best to make it a good fight. It's the one everybody's been waiting on. Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. And Robert Whittaker being an underdog is where most people are going to try to put that money on Whittaker, and I'm right there with you. I got Robert Whittaker, and I got Robert Whittaker by a 4th round TKO. I think he's going to piece up Khamzat after surviving the first round grappling fest. I feel like the best way to beat Robert isn't for Khamzat to start with the grappling. He has to start with his hands first, because Robert is probably expecting Khamzat to come guns blazing right out the gate. So you got to give him something that he doesn't expect. Khamzat needs to come out and put some hands on him first and then go for the takedown, because that's a better chance for him to win. Even still, I do have Robert Whittaker winning, and I do have him by 4th round TKO. I don't think Khamzat's going to survive that long if his grappling does not work. Man, I totally feel Dana White on this one. I don't want either one of these guys to lose, but unfortunately, this is a title fight, and somebody has to lose. Some people are saying the trash talk is going to play a factor because Ilia Topuria seems to be inside of Max's head, but we've been proven before that being inside of Max's head isn't always the greatest thing, because Calvin Kattar also got inside of Max's head with the freshman senior boxing thing, and that didn't really work out too well for Calvin, now did it? But this is not Calvin Kattar. This is Ilia Topuria, a guy who's a great boxer and a great grappler as well. It's so hard to pick a freaking winner. I've been like doing so much research on this fight, and even at this point, I don't know who's gonna win. Topuria has the boxing. He's powerful. He has the grappling, so he can mix it up on Holloway, make him think about multiple different things. The overhand is gonna be a great weapon for Topuria because Max is always open on that right side. I meant left side, and it's always open for the right overhand. But still, then you have Max, who has good takedown defense, and Topuria has this boxing stance where he likes to just wait for too long, and Max Holloway could possibly capitalize on that. The footwork could keep him away from the power punches of Topuria. And even if he does connect, most people are hoping that the chin of Max Holloway goes out, but you can't just go into a fight thinking this anymore. I mean, it's been proven so many times. That's not something you should depend on. The fact that he's cutting down from 145 after going to 155 is a worry, but I don't know, man. My mind says Ilia, but my heart says Max, and I want to really go for Max this time because I doubted him in a Justin Gaethje fight, and look how that turned out. I'm going to be going with Ilia Topuria, but I don't think either one of these guys are going to finish each other. I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out war. And at the end of this war, I think Ilia Topuria is going to be the guy getting his hand raised. Even though leg kicks are the main weakness and head kicks are Topuria's main weakness. Man, even in picking a winner, I don't know, man. I got Topuria.